Let's talk today about the threat bucket. So everyone has, if you can imagine, a literal bucket of the threats that you've been through in your lifetime. So some examples, there's obvious examples, right? Any surgeries, any injuries, any traumas that have happened to you. But I wanted to point out some maybe lesser known ones. So I witnessed things in childhood at at a best friend's house, witnessing things that shouldn't have happened to this friend. And when I went to the adults, I got told that there's no way that was possible. So having to process this information that I was seeing as true, but somebody telling me that, in fact, there's no way that was true. Other things, even if a scar is healed or you feel like you're over the trauma of an incident, it still counts. Relationships, bad relationships, things, kind of having to essentially avoid your authentic self. So the things that you had to have muted. So I actually argue that being a healthcare worker, kind of all of those relationships that you've had with every single patient, those count. Playing the political game of working at a corporation, those all count in your threat bucket. So why does the threat bucket matter? I use this a lot in stroke rehab. There is only so much that your body and brain can handle. So if you have a threat bucket that's filled, this is when we hear stories about, oh, I bent over to pick up a Kleenex and I threw my back out. I got out of the car and suddenly broke my ankle. Your body has basically had its fill. The threat bucket was probably overflowing at this point in time. And so that one incident was just too much. I talk about this with vagus nerve work. There is just so much that your body can handle. Even in my stroke rehab cases, it's very interesting. I saw this a lot where patients would have an injury from childhood, 3 years old. They broke their ankle, had the stroke at 70, and suddenly, hey, their ankle's starting to bother them. So I would always tell people that it's like as if your brain can only focus on healing one thing. So you did not realize how much your body and brain were keeping that injury at bay until something bigger, a bigger threat came along. So I say all of this is good information, but the best part is that my techniques, virtually and in person, of course, but virtually as well, I can help you take out things from the threat bucket. We can heighten your smell, your vision, your coordination, your reaction time to essentially decrease the threat in your threat bucket. One thing important to note too is like what I talk about a lot and what has been eye-opening for me in nervous system services is that even if you've talked to a therapist, counselor, I love these professions. I refer to them regularly. Your body still holds on to things physically, and it had to. There is absolutely no way, whether you think that trauma or that break or that surgery or that that traumatic birth that you had did not affect you. Your body still had to store it because it's super smart. It's like, okay, this has happened to us. We are going to take note of it. We're going to do everything in our power to not let it happen again. So anything that's close to it, anything that's similar, we are going to fight it. But the brain's not smart enough to know that sometimes they're not that similar, but also when to back off. So comment below for my guide on the threat bucket. I really wanted this guide to be very empowering in things that we've often forgot about. And I see it all the time. When I'm releasing, I released this client's scar. And the interesting part is we decided that this was going to be a secondary scar. But with releasing this one, this client realized that, oh, this scar happened as a means um, in hopes of not having surgery on their back. Then they ended up having 2 back surgeries anyway. And then all of these emotions came in, right? So like this, it seemed like an unnecessary procedure. It didn't work. This client then remembered, which she forgot, she was actually in a accident on the way to this procedure. And I always say, as somebody who has gone through a kind of life-altering injury as well, it's everything else. Mine was a car accident, so it was dealing with collection agencies. This person's trying to sue me, that person's trying to sue me. I ended up switching jobs in the middle of it, so having to close out, the one job, and it was just so much. So things that we forget about. These are still things that your body had to handle. So anyway, follow Releaseology for more ways on how to decrease your threat bucket so that you can just absolutely thrive and witness the insane things that I'm helping people with that I was told I wasn't able to, or that I had to refer out for. So keep following Releaseology for more. Thanks, guys.